Today on the workbench, I've got a new project here. This is an Athearn P42DC. And what we're going to be doing, this does have a decoder in it. It has a Soundtrax Tsunami 2 in it. And this gentleman would like it upgraded to a ESU Loksound V5 and a couple of scale sound system speakers. So that's what we're going to be doing to this. So, and it's got LEDs in it already, so don't have to fool with that. So we might as well go ahead and start disassembly. We'll go ahead and pull the couplers out. And there should be one screw back here in the back. Now hopefully this will come. And let me take this one out. Now I may have to pull these. There's two up front there, but I think they're for that front clip. So we're missing one right here. So let's try. Oh, so it'll just fall right apart. Just like that. Alright, I think this is going to be a relatively easy install. And yeah, we've got two 28mm, I think they're 28mm speakers coming. I've got the parts on order for this, so we'll put a decoder buddy in it, and yeah, we'll go from there. This does have, it's got a headlight, class lights up front, flashing ditch lights. So, and the same in the back, headlight, and then class lights. No ditch lights in the back. But yeah, it runs good the way it is. And I don't think this is a factory install here. Oh my. Go ahead and cut that tape. This final piece off here. So we've got all that. Let's see what we've got here. Well, this probably is a factory. There's pickups. No, wait a minute, I was wrong. I'm losing my voice. There's pickups. Oh, this is a factory board. Okay. They don't have any pickups up front for anything. Just the wiring for the lights. Speaker. So that's a speaker wire. Okay. I see what they're doing there. Got it hooked up in series. They've left enough wire, I will say that for them. Oh, so there is front pickups. They've just got them run to the back. Okay. All right. Well, I'll get all my material in, and then we'll start taking this mess apart. Hopefully, we can make that look a little neater. All right. Okay. We might as well go ahead and we'll just start some disassembly here. I'm just going to cut these track pickups. Get all that out of the way. So there's that. That. Now I've got, so it looks like, I'm going to take a picture of this. That way I can hook it back up. Something similar. I mean, it doesn't matter. I can do it however I want to, but I'm going to take a picture just because. So there's F6. And there's the rear light. Speaker. And then F3. Cut that. That's the other speaker wire to put it in series. We'll pull the speakers out. There's one. There's the other one. There's that other body screw. So somehow it was dropped in here and the speaker picked it up. Lucky for the magnet. All right. Now this board did have a concession for a keep alive current keeper on it. It's just got a couple of clips that hold that in. And then we got our two motor wires on the bottom. All right, so there's our factory board. We'll return that. And now we're completely gutted there. So we'll end up putting our decoder buddy right in there. So I'm going to trim off those clips. them down a little farther. That way our decoder buddy will sit flush. Those little pieces hurt. And they come flying off of there. All right. Now we'll be ready to mount that board. So let's see. I could set that all the way up there. Got plenty of wire. Plenty of wire. Yeah, I think that'll be the way to go. Okay. So I believe the first thing I'm going to do is strip these two motor wires. Well, actually, the first thing I want to do is clean off that motor mount. I can strip those. And then what I'm doing is the tip on this flux gets stuck, so I'm taking my soldering gun and loosening it up. There's that one. And of course, So we'll have our motor hooked up. Alright, and then I'll trim this off. Get rid of that. Now, clean the board off. And then we'll mount the board. Okay, we've got our Decoder Buddy mounted. Might as well go ahead and hook up some track pickups while we're here. Get these rear ones in. And these pads are already tinned. So they're already tinned. I am going to put a little flux on them. And then that way, I'll put a little dab of solder there. There's one. There's our rear track pickups. Go ahead and pull the lighting board off. So I just cut off about 3.5 inches of wire. And I'll do the same up here. Okay, so there's our track pickups and our motor. Now we've just got our light. I got to wait on the speakers to come in. So, all right, this will be a good little stopping spot for now. All right, we're ready to start installing our lights, or wiring up our lights. The lights are already installed, but what we're going to do is we've got our light board here from the Decoder Buddy. I've put it on this little pad over here, and that pad is the rear light, and then these on the side are the positive wires. So we've got 3 wires we're dealing with. We've got our white one, which is our positive, and I'll show you how I figured that out here in a second. Of course, the simplest thing to do is, well, I'll show you 2 methods. Since I got the flux on that. There's that one. Then this black one is the rear class lights. And again, I'll tell you here in a minute. So this thing is fairly simple to wire up, and this red is our function wire for the rear headlight. So now, here's our original board, rear lights. So I left a little bit of color on each one, so I know my white wire is my positive wire for this back LED board. Or no, that's the function wire, I mean. So the U plus is the common wire, which is the red wire. And then of course you have the black wire, which is a function for the rear class lights. And they had it on probably F6. So the other way you can do that is get yourself a nice set of these smart tweezers, and you can just go through and touch your wires and light up your functions. So that's 2 ways to figure this out. But anyway, so our white wire is our rear light. I'm going to go ahead and put that through there, and I've already fluxed. I've put flux on the board, so we're using this bottom corner for our rear. So there's that one. And then our red is our positive on this. So I can use any one of those holes up that side. Flux on there. Clean that off. And then we'll have our black wire, which was our class lights. I'm going to put it on A6. So this should line this up to where it's wired up the same way that it came from the factory. And I may pull up my diagram from NixTrainz just to make sure. And I'll cut those off of the back. I'll trim them up. But I am going to pull up Nix website. Actually, I've got it saved, I think. Yep. So that should be good to go. Actually, I should have hooked that to A4. But either way. Either way, it will work right there on that function. So now, I can do the same, and I can trim these off. I probably should have trimmed those off a little bit, but I don't need to. I've got to allow room for my speaker. So I can still trim about that much off. And I'm going to go ahead and strip these, tin them, and flux them. And then I'll test them to make sure which ones are what. And then I'll be back. Alright, we're going to start through these front wires. And again, I'm going off of the board here. So I know this red is a positive. And it will go, I'm going to put it right here on the side with the other positive wire. And then I know this blue wire is my front headlight, and that's from reading the board. So might as well kill two birds with one stone here. Try and keep that out of the way. So there's those two. Now we've still got 3 wires to go. And I'm going to make 1 and 2 the ditch lights. So now I'm going to break out my smart tweezers, because I have 2 black wires. And I'll put this on there. Oop. Okay, so this is a ditch light. Well, while I got it in my hand, I'm just going to go ahead and put it on, because if I don't, I'll lose it. So I'm going to put it on F2. And the other one, I know this white one is my other ditch light. So I'm going to put it on F1. And then this black light, or black wire, is for the class lights. So I'm going to make it A3. And now we'll be done wiring our lights up. The only thing we have now is the speakers to do. I need to cut that little jumble of stuff off. All right. So now I'm going to break out the decoder and put it on there and test everything. So I'll be back here in a minute. All right, we're back. I've got the Scale Sound System speakers, and I'm getting ready to wire them in. Now I went ahead and I did put the double-sided tape on them, and I tinned and pre-wired everything. You know, you didn't need to see me doing the wire stripping and fluxing and all that good stuff. So now we'll take and get that out of the way, move this down here, and we can go ahead and put this in. And the way I've got this is I wired these both the same. I'm going to put these in parallel. So I've got this wire is stripped right here. That lets me know my positive side. So we'll go ahead and get this thing stuck in there. before I do anything else, I am going to remove that light board. So I'll be able, and I'll actually remove the decoder. And now I can go ahead and I'll cut, actually let me do this. This was the positive wire. And so since these are already pre-tinned, just going to put a little dab of flux on there. And then I'll grab my tweezers. There's one. Now I'll go ahead and I'll do the other side. That way I'll keep them in the right order. Let me get that wire out of the way. So there's that. So now when this all comes together, it should be 4 ohms. So I'm going to take my positive wire over here and I'm going to run it to the same side that I did this speaker back here. So that'll go. Get this wire out of the way. That'll go over here. We'll cut that off a little bit. And this locomotive will be done after I get this in. Kind of did it out of order because I didn't have the speakers in. Had to order those. But now I've got the decoder programmed. So we are good to go. Now, cross over and do this side. And then we'll be able to try this thing out. One more to go. flux on that. Clean that tip off. And that is our speakers. Everything's kosher there. We'll go ahead and put the decoder back on. And then we'll get the light board. Alright, now I'm going to try it out and then I'll be back. Alright, we've got this up on the turntable and we've got it completed here. So I'm going to go ahead and fire it up and we'll let it run through a startup sequence. So there we've got it fired up. We'll go ahead and turn our headlight on. Now I've got this mapped out to where when the headlight comes on, especially, well, the front headlight comes on, the rear class lights come on. If I go to reverse, the front class lights come on and the rear headlight comes on. So that's mapped together. And then, of course, we have our ditch lights, and they operate off of with the horn. And then, of course, too, I have the class lights to where I can just hit F5 and both front and rear come on, which I kind of like that. But anyway, that is this project in a nutshell. It's completed. We'll go ahead and turn all this off and we'll go through the shutdown. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching.